Hello, hello. It says I'm live. Let's see how this works. How's everybody doing today? Yeah. All right. Trying to get the camera just right. Making sure my mic is working. Found some settings, so hopefully I can see comments on Facebook when you guys do that. All right. So I have posted, I guess I turned the blur feature off since I touched my face and didn't blur. So I made some posts in a couple of the groups, the real estate investor groups, and really this live is for anybody that has a dream or is going through a transition and wants to do something new. The title of it was "Give Up on Yourself or Give Up on Your Dream," right? And so a lot of people, when I started this and when you start getting into entrepreneurship and you start making these transitions and you start doing this stuff, there's a saying out there that says, what are you willing to give up to get what you want? And for me, what that meant a lot of times was, what am I going to sacrifice? And if I have to sacrifice to get what I want, then is it really like, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? And so I would beat myself up. I would go out and I would work, and then I would feel upset that I was working instead of being with my family, and it wasn't fun. And I would be worried about this big dream I had. And like, how are you going to get to that dream if it's torture the entire time, right? And so what I've realized and what I've experienced and what I've seen is it's not a matter of what you're willing to give up. It's a matter of who your identity is that you're willing to let go of. And our identity is what ultimately directs every action in our life. It's the story that you tell about yourself to yourself, right? That's what your identity is. And when your identity can shift, then you can start having success in that. And so how that works, to give you an example, is for me, it was one of the perfect examples, and I'll use it because there's a piece of exercise equipment behind me, is I'm not somebody that wants to work out. That's the story I would tell myself. And so then you buy those pills, you buy those exercise equipment, you buy all that stuff to force yourself because, hey, it's going to solve this problem. I bought plenty of things off of infomercials. Same with the real estate industry. I bought plenty of things that I thought were going to fix this deficit or this not feeling good enough to execute at this super high level. And it didn't work. It didn't. And what ultimately happened is I would fail at it and I would feel worse about myself. And that story is, I'm finding, and as I'm talking to people, it is just all over the world, right? And so what ultimately happens is we're trying to fix stuff at the level of identity with things that are outside of our identity. So what I mean by give up on yourself or give up on your dream, what ultimately happens is we've got this huge vision, this huge dream. Real estate investors are, a lot of them are visionaries, and a lot of them want to make these big companies or have this huge impact. But then their identity of where they're at now and the story they tell themselves about how they operate is not congruent with this big vision. But really what it ends up having to be is you've got to let go of this identity down here that tells you you're not capable of doing it right now. You're not capable of making it happen. That's a story. That's your identity. And that's what you have to give up. You have to give up on the version of yourself that you're telling yourself who you are. And so what that means is you're going to have to give up on that version of, man, I just don't know how to make money. And then when you give up on that and you release it, it starts being, okay, I can make money at this. And it's a slow incremental growth. Eventually you'll get there. But the separation and the distance right now seems so overwhelmingly huge that it causes our identity to not even want to take that action to move towards it, right? And so it's slow incremental growth. Your first step isn't, hey, I've got this huge vision. That vision is necessary, but if you're attached to the vision having to happen now so you're happy, it's not going to work because you're not going to be happy. You're not going to feel fulfilled. You're going to feel terrible. And then what ultimately is going to happen, you attach that feeling to that vision and you don't take any action. And so when you don't take any action, you don't get any fulfillment. You feel worse about yourself and you feel stuck. You feel unfulfilled, and that vision never comes to life. And so what we need to do is we need to hold that vision and have that be a reason why we're going to let go of this down here so we can incrementally take actions to get there. How do you eat an elephant? You eat it one piece at a time. And so what's going to happen is we take small incremental steps. My vision is huge for this podcast, this company, this consulting company, like everything. It's gigantic. Like I could go on for about an hour and a half about just what it's going to look like at the end of the day. But that can be overwhelming to a vision or an identity that doesn't have any idea how to really operate at that level yet. And so what happens is overwhelm, stuck, beat yourself up, don't execute, nothing happens, right? And so we have to shift back. We hold that vision, but we shift it down into bite-sized pieces. And so this becomes our vision. This becomes our pull to get us through these steps. But we take our first step. What do you want your company to operate like? And then you have to align with that, and you have to take actions that are congruent with that so that you start building towards that vision. There's no point in building a real estate company that is I wholesaled for 3 years knowing full well I wasn't going to be a wholesaler. I was going to be a rehabber. I was going to run rental properties. This is my active income, and I'm moving it into those. But being a wholesaler wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't. It was a skill set that I learned to run a transaction. But the whole time it was like, okay, how long is this going to work? How long is this going to last? How long am I going to do this? I'm doing it for a specific purpose. But at the end of the day, I knew I'm going to have to make a huge change to get out of being a wholesaler. I have that skill set. I can do it, but it's not who I wanted to be at the end of the day. And that's a lot of what we're experiencing. We have a lot of people that want to be here and operate here and feel fulfilled here and have excitement and have money and have all those dreams. But their identity is saying, I'm not good enough. I don't have any money. In reality, your identity is actually somewhere up here. It's actually greater than where your vision is, because all that stuff that tells us we're down here compared to our vision being up here is bullshit. It's all stuff we were conditioned while we were young, while we grew up, while we were going through school, while we, some people's parents were, jack wagons and they really did a number on them. But everybody can build and get up to the level of having their dream and having their success. It's just a matter of stepping back and realizing, okay, I'm at this level. What do I need to give up right now to move towards my vision? Is it a process? Is it more than likely it's an identity. It's an identity of a fear of success, a fear of being seen, a fear of something, a doubt. I'm not good enough. That is a story we are telling ourselves. Andrea Stakes, who runs a consulting company, she had a great live last night, or not a consulting company. She runs a virtual assistant company. She had a great live last night. She was talking to a girl in Kroger, and the girl in Kroger said, well, I want to be an entrepreneur, but all I am is a bagger at Kroger, right? I've never been a manager. Well, that's a story we tell ourselves. I can't do it because of X. I can't do it because of Y. I can't do it because of whatever story we are telling ourselves to keep ourselves safe and feeling like if we put ourselves out there to go after our vision and we fail, like we can measure how painful that's going to be. But if you're at that level where you're telling yourself how painful it's going to be, that means you haven't tasted how amazing it could be anywhere in your life, most likely. Like when you're in the zone and when you feel it, you can feel it. You can feel it. You can just feel the passion, feel the energy, feel the drive, feel the success, feel it. Like the passion in my voice. Like today, I am drained from my self-defense class last night, but like you wouldn't know it with me being on camera here. Like this was a goal today. This was something I knew was going to happen, is shooting this live video, getting the rep in. And I used to think people were like, oh, you're just pushing through it. You're doing this. No. When you have that vision and you don't attach your ego to it, you attach serving people to it and the vision and your why and your passion and your purpose, you will take the reps because, hey, regardless of how jacked up it is and how much I screw this up, I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to take the next step. And that's all we have to do. We incremental small steps. We don't have to eat the elephant the whole time, but you got to give up on that version of yourself that thinks you do. That's it. So we can and here's the thing. And I know some people will experience this, some people won't. Some people are meant to just drive and work, and I've talked about that in other videos. And they'll get to a point where they've had massive success and they start getting that, they looking for that fulfillment. There will be people that I work with a lot that they have to have pain, unfortunately. Like I did. I had to have pain. I had to have it be so painful where I just was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And you hear that story a lot with people that are successful of like, it got so painful that like I either had to give up. I had to give up the excuses. And that's really what it is. Our version of ourselves that tells us we can't do it. It's not an excuse, but that's where it comes from. It's just a story to keep us safe. And so if you can give up on that, let it go, as it were, because you'll come to a point if you don't quit on this and you're not having success, if you don't quit on your dreams and you're not getting the results that you want, it will start being very painful. And the more painful it is, the more you're going to have to lean into not giving up, because it will literally be, I either give up on all my hopes and dreams, and that moment, I've experienced it. That moment is, it feels like a death. Like, and I've had a near-death experience when I was young, but that is the closest thing, like numbness, emptiness, like, oh my God, I either have to make this work or I've got to give up on it. Like, I'm not just causing myself pain, I'm causing other people pain by not living into my purpose and my passion and my reason. It becomes painful, super painful. And so with that, if you're okay to the point where it's like, I can lean back into it and say, I don't know what needs to happen. I'm just going to take the next step. You have a conversation with God, your source, whatever, your higher power, your community, whatever you need to tap into to get you through that decision and stay on and not give up on your dream. It will start working. I guarantee it. Like the old Dusecki guy, or no, what is it? The Men's Warehouse. I guarantee it. Whoever that guy is, but it will happen without a doubt. So I may not have any views on this. I may not have anybody comment. I'm still working out technical stuff, but getting the reps in, putting that work in, being seen, cultivating and cultivating and consistently working on the reps to keep getting practice so that you can get better every time. That's the purpose. That's what happens. That's how your vision ends up being created in real time instead of just in your head. Because at that point, you have cognitive, you're having a fight between what you want for your life and who you believe you are. And in order for us to have this, you have to believe you are capable and able to have that, which means you have to give up on this version of yourself. You have to kill it. And so we'll talk more about that as we keep going through, but I appreciate you guys. This one went a little longer than I was anticipating, but I'm passionate about it. I love it. I could talk about it all day. So I'll talk to you guys soon. You need anything, comment, like it, share it. And we'll keep going. I'll tweak it. And yeah, we'll go from there. Love you all. Talk to you soon.